Hello everybody, Kip T Sword here with DT4EMS and an episode of the Chronicles of a Culture Changer. And based on some events that happened today, I wasn't going to post one until after the first of the year, but I have to get this off my chest. And it kind of blends in with everything that we already talk about. And basically what I want to do is say, are we supposed to be tactical or are we going to be tacti-kewl? And we see this trend with so many places trying to get staff to be more tacti-kewl, meaning they're dressing like cops, acting like cops, and worse, not just some of the basic stuff, but they're dressing more like operators or SWAT operators or special forces members. And guys, this is hurting us. Since the beginning of emergency medicine, really, even on the battlefield, the Geneva Convention believed that medical providers were supposed to be neutral. I know. Now, before you get all your tactical 511s and a twist, what I want to do here is I want to bring some things up. And I will tell you that what we find across the country is that people, we've lost neutrality with the public, and we've lost neutrality within ourselves. And part of this is coming from this tacti-kewl, trying to be cool with everything that you're doing. I will tell you this. I don't know a lot of operators. I don't claim to be an operator. I don't claim anything like that. But the people that I do know, whether they were SWAT guys or the Special Forces guys I know or the PJ guy that I know and stuff like that, these guys don't walk around every day acting like an operator. You would have no idea they were an operator. And let me share something with you. When I was a full-time police officer, the last thing I wanted you to know was that I was a police officer when I was off duty. I didn't walk around with a big gun on badge on my hip for everybody to see when I was off duty, because I didn't want those people following me home. I knew that most people don't have the intestinal fortitude to come at you. They'll mess with your family. So a lot of this stuff that we're doing with tacti-kewl, and here's some examples, having the average paramedic or EMT or firefighter dressing like a SWAT person every day on a call is dangerous for us. This trend is hurting us. It's shifting the public's perception of who we are. Something like, training them, the average paramedic and EMT, like they're an operator on a mission. Guys, how many of those calls do we actually really go on? Why aren't we training for the more often than not? Instead, we're training for the extreme, which I mean, we should train for the extreme, but that shouldn't be our focus. And then other things like, well, here's the question. If the EMS or firefighter or the EMS or the firefighter is not assigned to a full-time team, what are you the rest of the time? So shouldn't we be, acting or doing or focusing on what we do most of the time? Because when, does an operator, when they're not on duty, wear all that stuff? And here's the thing, if the recent issues of officers being ambushed hasn't shown us something about this, that now there was even some stuff going around of asking EMS people to remove stickers and stuff like that from their cars. And I mean, come on, guys. If this isn't starting to prove to you that we have to get back to neutral, it took us a while to get here. It's going to take us a while to get out of this. And it is this tacti-kewl mentality. In emergency medicine, we should always be tactically minded, but tactfully minded about how we stand, how we dress. This all should be tactful with our tactics on a scene, not trying to be tacti-kewl. We shouldn't be walking into grandma's house dressed like a SWAT team member. And I know this is going to stir up some debate. And I want it to stir debate because I want people to research what really happens, what is really going on. And I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, how many times have you already, those of you that are, whether you've been unwillingly indoctrinated into this, or you're, believing or bought into this culture, and so you dress and talk and want to act like a police officer all the time. If you don't believe me, how many times has a drunk or drugged individual called you officer already on a scene? So, and to prove it even more so, I'll end it with this. When we started this today, just a few minutes ago, I brought up the fact of there was a breaking news story today on EMS1 about some providers in an SUV marked with EMS insignia that pulls over a car and threatens to write the motorist a ticket. Now you tell me the lines haven't been blurred. And it's all, I'm telling you, a lot of this comes from EMS and the fire on the medical scene had no culture. And so since nobody has taught us how to handle these things, we look to the only people we thought knew, which was the law enforcement, the soldiers, and that type of stuff, the paramilitarization and things like that. Structuring is fine, but acting like a military member or a police officer on a scene, on a medical scene, is getting us in a lot of trouble. Because here's the thing, you can dress all you want to, but if you don't have all the other training and the tactics and the tools that go along with it, if you're dressed like that and you start mouthing a drunk and he pops you right in the mouth, you're going to understand that they can see right through the fact that, oh my goodness, well, this is just a paramedic dressed like this, and then they're going to punch us. And then that opens up this whole new debate. Guys, Tacti-kewl is lending us into this, or leading us more and more onto this path of loss of neutrality. And I personally believe, based upon all the research that I've done across the country, that a loss of neutrality is what's getting us into a lot of trouble. And a lot of it, if you look at it, is this Tacti-kewl. We're wanting to, if it walks, talks, and quacks like a duck, people are going to think it's a duck. We have to get back to being those care providers and get back to what we originally got into this business for. We've been screaming this since 1997, and the more that we research it, the more that we're finding out, why does the problem exist? We can't just put a Band-Aid on an amputation. I mean, we have to go back and we have to stop the amputation from ever occurring. Maybe we turn it into a scratch. Maybe it's just, something that turns into having to have some sutures. But it's not the same as having that limb cut off. Guys, I'm Kip T. Sword. This has been an episode of Chronicles of a Culture Changer, where I'm trying to get you to see that there's a difference between tactical and being tactfully tactical on a medical scene versus trying to be Tacti-kewl and being something we're not. I'm not an operator, don't claim to be an operator, never was. Those guys are a whole new breed to themselves, and I'm honored to know some of them, but I will tell you, they're amazing folks in their realm. So they're not trying to be us. Let's not try to be them. Talk to you soon.